I'm glad you mentioned Mason because I want to talk about Mason as well. Because currently, if I can get the page to load, I think I've put around 6.5k likes on my own head because I said he should be captain as of next season. And I actually believe it. I said what I said, and no one's going to change my mind. Maybe vice captain for next season, then captain the season after. But like, firstly, let's address his goal. Now, on the stream that I was running, the debate was it a lucky finish? Was it bad goalkeeping, or was it an outstanding finish? Now, I like to lean on the side that I think it was just a simply outstanding finish. And I believe he fully intended it to go there. Thoughts?
He makes the goal for himself. It's not one of those where it's put up on a plate for him. The turn is just sublime. It's extraordinary. You know, it's a game-changing moment. It's the first time Chelsea have been able to press up the pitch. And he said it himself post-game. The moment that space opens up, you know, so many times I see Chelsea players get into that position and think, I'm going to try and pass it. We're going to try and pass the ball in here. It's that ruthless side that players in this team need more that Mount showed there. The moment that space opened up, it's like a striker. He just went right, far corner. You saw Harry Kane score a similar goal at the weekend against Newcastle. The moment that space opens up in that far corner, I'm hitting it towards that corner. It was a precise finish. I know you could... everyone analyzes goalkeepers to the nth degree now with every single goal, and I do get a little bit frustrated at times because it's like sometimes a finisher, sometimes a striker or whoever's striking a shot, sometimes it's just a really good finish, you know, and sometimes I think players deserve more credit for that, and I don't want to take that away from Mason. You know, that game was lacking inspiration attack-wise for Chelsea. It just was. You know, watching that first half an hour, I was very concerned because we were being outplayed, I felt, from Porto. You know, I felt they were the only team really taking control of the game. And the first time Chelsea string a few passes together, because I think with talk about the shape and the system, with the false nine as well, with Kai in the game, I think this, especially when you don't have Kante on the pitch to break up play and create those counter-attacking opportunities, this team needs to control the game. It needs to pass the ball around. You know, it can't hit teams that quickly. So the first time that happened, it's just a wonderful moment. And once again, I mean, Mason Mount's Chelsea's player of the season. I mean, I'd argue just give it to him right now, because I think it's a bit of a waste of time even doing a vote on it, because it is, you know, and if he doesn't win player of the season, you might as well never do the award again.
Yeah, 100%.
He is levels above every other player in this squad. He is levels in terms of consistency. For me, the period, and it sounds a little bit silly, the period that wins it for me is December and January. That's the period that wins it, because when a majority of the players, it's an old expression, down tools, a load of players went off form drastically. He was the only one that maintained those levels, was scoring big goals, and he's only gone from strength to strength since then. He has consistently put a run of form together for such a young player. The only one, as we were just talking about, that comes close to Mason in terms of impact consistently for this team is Edouard Mendy. I think Thiago Silva, yes, in terms of how good he was at spells, but I think the fact that we spent so long with him, especially in some big games without him, and we've seen the impact of Christensen, Rudiger, that's not taking away from Thiago Silva's individual performances, but I don't think you can call Thiago Silva a essential player to this team anymore. Mason Mount is an essential player to this team. He just is. He's the only player I trust in big moments to step up, and we've seen countless moments this season where he's the guy changing games. He's scoring big goals. He's further up the pitch, so you see that pressing and energy, but just that intelligence and spatial awareness and being in the right place at the right time, and the technique, which is just wonderful as well. He's a ridiculous player at his age. He just really is, and what he's doing at the moment is just extraordinary. And I'm sick and tired of trying to caveat everything with Mason and trying to sort of like bring up stuff that's just irrelevant to this conversation. Mason Mount is Chelsea's best player in terms of quality, in terms of mentality, in terms of consistency, in terms of what I expect from a Chelsea player.
It's tough because basically the argument is always about semantics, isn't it? Like, is Mason Mount Chelsea's best player? Arguably, yes. You'd probably get most people say it's Kante. Is Mason Mount Chelsea's most important player? 100%. Which player embodies the values that we like to sign with the club, Mason Mount as well. And this is why I said Mason should be captain. And all of the comments, I'd say 95% of the responses I've got to that tweet, and there's about 300 and something responses, have all said, no, it's too early, don't add pressure onto him, don't do this. And I'm kind of sat here thinking, like, the captaincy is a reward for the pressure that he's had to deal with. Like, I'm not putting pressure on him by giving him the captain's armband. I'm rewarding him for being able to navigate his way through that pressure. Like, he's carried the team for 2 seasons. Genuinely, he's absolutely carried the team for 2 seasons. It's been like him and someone usually. This season, it's been mainly him. Last season, it was Pulisic towards the end of the season. Tammy had a very strong start to last season. He's just been absolutely instrumental. And it's like, do I see Azpi playing week in, week out next season? No. Do I see Thiago Silva playing week in, week out next season? No. Do I see Mason Mount playing week in, week out next season? Yes, I do. Do I think Thiago Silva's done enough in a Chelsea shirt to deserve being the captain? Not really. Azpi, yeah, fine. I'm 100% okay for Azpi to be the captain, and then Mace, when he plays, to be given captain if Azpi's not on the pitch. I believe in emblems. I can't help it. And I think the captain's armband really does represent something. And I want the person wearing it to represent what I think the club is. And there's no one that does that more so than Mace. And that's kind of my opinion. It's like, well, maybe it is too early. Okay, fine. But what pressure is given in that armband adding to the pressure he's already had to, solve? Like, this is a guy that was, 10 goals and assists or 12 goals and assists last season, the first season in the Prem, which is very good. It's better than Maddison. This season, he's already got 5 goals, 5 assists in the league, maybe more, don't know. Got another goal, first goal in the Champions League, in like a stage of the Champions League that a lot of Chelsea players have never played in before. And then the debate as to who plays for England has shifted. It's now, I think, almost the consensus that Mount is going to play.
As well, the point you made up, like the narrative over the summer was Kai, Timo, Ziyech coming into this team. Pulisic was wonderful at the end of last season. Debates over Callum, all these players, all these attacking players, and there were debates over, does Mace get into this team? What's it going to be like for the young players within this squad to deal with all this, massive, pressure of course, and scrutiny of the new signings coming in? Can they compete with these players? And Mason, and I also think last night was a prime example as well, Reece James, just going, they set the level. And Timo, Kai, Ziyech, they haven't reached those levels this season for various reasons, but Mason is a guaranteed starter. He is the first name on the team sheet week in, week out.